You don't have to ask questions. You don't have to analyze every moment. And you don't have to convince yourself that what you're feeling is real. You just know this is the kind of love that feels unmistakable and rare, the kind that separates itself from every other emotion you've ever experienced. You may have felt attraction before, excitement before, even passion before. But this feels different. This reaches deeper. This settles into your spirit and stays there. When it's the love of your life, it doesn't come with confusion. You don't wake up wondering where you stand. You don't spend nights replaying conversations, searching for hidden meanings, or questioning your worth. The clarity is what makes it rare. In a world where people play games with emotions, this love shows up honest, steady, and intentional. It doesn't disappear when things get uncomfortable. It doesn't shrink when life applies pressure. This love feels rare because it recognizes you completely. Not just the version you show the public, but the private you, the insecure you, the tired you, the version of you that's still figuring things out. And somehow, instead of judging you, it accepts you. That acceptance doesn't make you lazy or complacent. It makes you stronger. It makes you want to rise to the level of love you're receiving. You can search your whole life and meet hundreds of people, but only one will make you feel seen without asking to be noticed. Only one will understand your silence as clearly as your words. Only one will make you feel like you don't have to compete with the world anymore. Because with them, you already belong. That's why this kind of love can't be replaced. You can't duplicate it. You can't fake it. And once you experience it, you realize why nothing else ever felt quite right. Everything before was preparation. Everything before was practice. This love stands alone, unmistakable, rare, and undeniable. When the love of your life enters your world, the first thing it gives you is emotional safety. That kind of safety is priceless because it allows you to finally exhale. You stop feeling like you have to guard your heart every second or brace yourself for disappointment. With them, you don't feel like love is a risk you're constantly calculating. It becomes a space where you can rest. You can speak without fear of being misunderstood. And you can be silent without being accused of pulling away. That peace changes how you move through life. Emotional safety means you're not afraid to be honest about your fears, your failures, or your past. You can admit when you're not okay without feeling weak. You can share your dreams without worrying they'll be laughed at or minimized. Instead of using your vulnerability against you, the love of your life protects it. They hold your heart carefully, knowing how much courage it took for you to open it. With that safety comes peace, and peace is one of the clearest signs that love is real. Drama fades. Chaos quiets down. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you're no longer facing it alone. Even on hard days, there's a sense of calm knowing someone is standing with you, not judging you, not threatening to leave, but choosing you again and again. This kind of love doesn't create anxiety or confusion. It doesn't make you feel like you're walking on eggshells, afraid one wrong move will cost you everything. Instead, it reassures you. It reminds you that you are enough, even on days when you feel like you're falling short. That reassurance allows you to grow without fear. You're not trying to prove your worth anymore. You're simply living in it. When love brings emotional safety and peace, it heals wounds you didn't even realize were still open. Old scars stop aching. Past disappointments lose their power. You begin to trust again, not just the person you love, but yourself. And in that peace, you discover a version of yourself that is calmer, stronger, and more whole than ever before. The love of your life doesn't just walk beside you. They elevate you. When it's real, growth becomes a shared journey instead of a lonely struggle. You begin to see life differently, not because someone is controlling your direction, but because their presence inspires you to become more intentional. You start setting higher standards for yourself. You think more about your choices, your future, and the legacy you want to build because now your life is connected to someone else's dreams as well as your own. This kind of love doesn't limit you, it expands you. Instead of feeling threatened by your ambitions, the love of your life encourages them. They don't see your success as competition. They see it as a victory for both of you. When you're tired, they remind you why you started. When you doubt yourself, they hold up a mirror and show you your potential. Their belief in you becomes fuel, especially on days when your own belief runs low. Growth through partnership also means accountability. The love of your life will tell you the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Not to tear you down, but to help you rise. They won't enable your bad habits or ignore your flaws. Instead, they challenge you to be better while still loving you where you are. That balance is rare because it requires patience, maturity, and genuine care. Together, you learn how to face life's challenges as a team. Problems stop feeling like personal failures and start feeling like obstacles meant to be overcome together. Whether it's financial stress, personal loss, or moments of uncertainty, you develop resilience through unity. You realize that strength isn't about never falling. It's about having someone who helps you get back up every time you do. As you grow with the love of your life, you begin to notice changes within yourself. You communicate better. You listen more. You become more emotionally aware. Love teaches you responsibility without making it feel like a burden. It pushes you toward purpose without stealing your individuality. And in that shared growth, you understand that love isn't just about feeling good in the moment. It's about becoming better for the future you're building together. Only the love of your life can recognize you without needing an explanation. They understand you in moments where words would fail anyone else. You don't have to over-communicate your feelings or justify your emotions because they can sense when something is wrong just by the way your energy shifts. A look, a pause, a change in your tone is enough for them to know you're carrying something heavy. That level of recognition doesn't come from time alone. It comes from emotional connection. When it's real, you feel deeply known. Not studied, not analyzed, but known. They understand your patterns, your moods, your silence, and your joy. They know when to give you space and when to pull you closer. You don't feel pressure to constantly explain yourself or defend how you feel. Instead, you feel understood in a way that allows you to relax into who you truly are. This recognition creates a powerful bond because it validates your inner world. You don't feel invisible anymore. You don't feel like you're too much or not enough. You feel seen, and being seen by the right person heals something deep inside you. It reminds you that your emotions are valid, your experiences matter, and your voice doesn't have to be raised to be heard. The love of your life recognizes not only who you are, but why you are the way you are. They understand the stories behind your reactions. They respect your boundaries because they know where those boundaries came from. They don't push your wounds or dismiss your triggers. Instead, they handle you with care, knowing that love isn't just about passion, it's about protection. In this kind of love, communication becomes effortless, not because you never disagree, but because even in disagreement, there is understanding. You may not always see eye to eye, but you never feel misunderstood. There is a comfort in knowing that someone truly gets you, even when you're struggling to get yourself. When you're recognized without explanation, you stop feeling alone in your own mind. You realize that love isn't just about being together physically, it's about being connected emotionally. And that kind of connection is rare, powerful, and life-changing. Commitment from the love of your life goes far beyond convenience. It doesn't depend on moods, circumstances, or how easy things feel in the moment. This kind of commitment shows up consistently, especially when life becomes uncomfortable. It's present in hard conversations, unexpected challenges, and moments when walking away would be the simplest option. Instead of choosing the exit, the love of your life chooses effort. This commitment isn't loud or performative. It doesn't need constant validation or public approval. It's proven in everyday actions, in showing up when it matters, in keeping promises even when no one is watching. It's the willingness to stay engaged, to listen, to work through misunderstandings instead of avoiding them. Convenience says, I'm here while it feels good. Commitment says, I'm here because you matter. When someone is truly committed, they don't disappear during conflict. They don't shut down, threaten to leave, or use love as leverage. They understand that disagreement doesn't equal disconnection. They are willing to fight for the relationship, not fight within it. That level of dedication creates security because you know you're not constantly one mistake away from being abandoned. Commitment beyond convenience also means choosing growth over comfort. It means being willing to change patterns that hurt the relationship, even if those patterns feel familiar. It means sacrificing ego for understanding and pride for peace. The love of your life doesn't demand perfection, but they do require effort, honesty, and accountability, and they offer the same in return. This kind of commitment transforms how you love. You stop loving out of fear and start loving out of confidence. You're no longer trying to impress or prove your worth. You're building something real, something stable. There's freedom in knowing that love isn't conditional on flawless behavior, but rooted in mutual respect and shared intention. Over time, this commitment creates trust. Trust that allows love to deepen rather than fade. Trust that grows stronger with every challenge faced together. You realize that real love isn't just about staying when it's easy. It's about staying when it's hard and choosing each other anyway. That is commitment beyond convenience, and that is the kind of love that lasts. Gratitude for divine timing changes how you understand love. When the love of your life finally arrives, you begin to realize that every delay, every disappointment, and every heartbreak had a purpose. What once felt like rejection starts to make sense as redirection. You stop asking why it took so long and start appreciating why it happened exactly when it did. Timing reveals what impatience could never teach. This kind of gratitude comes from maturity. You recognize that if love had come earlier, you might not have been ready to handle it. You were still healing, still learning, still becoming the person capable of receiving something real. Divine timing protects love by allowing you to grow before you're asked to share your life with someone else. Looking back, you see how unprepared versions of yourself would have damaged what you now treasure. Gratitude also softens regret. Instead of wishing you could undo the past, you honor it for shaping you. Every lesson taught you boundaries. Every loss taught you discernment. Every season of loneliness taught you self-worth. By the time the love of your life appears, you're no longer desperate for companionship. You're whole, grounded, and able to love without losing yourself. There is a deep peace that comes from trusting divine timing. You stop comparing your journey to others. You stop rushing milestones. You understand that love isn't late just because it didn't arrive when you wanted it. It arrives when it's meant to last. That understanding brings humility and patience into your heart, allowing you to appreciate love without fear of losing it. Gratitude for timing also deepens appreciation for the person you love. You don't take them for granted because you know how easily paths can miss each other. You understand how rare alignment truly is. Two people ready at the same time, willing to choose each other is not coincidence. It's grace. When love arrives through divine timing, it feels earned, protected, and sacred. You don't cling to it out of fear. You cherish it with intention. You show up fully, love deeply, and give thanks quietly, knowing that some blessings take time because they are meant to last.